Sony has been cooking away at their Sony Spider-Man universe for a while now. We had Venom, Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, Morbius, and now Madam Web. This universe was looking to be pretty good with Venom. You know, a little dip in quality with Let There Be Carnage when that dropped. But hope that Spider-Man would soon arrive into the universe which derives its name from him with that post-credit scene, you know? And then Marvel tanked all hopes by sending Venom back home, no Tom Holland with him, and Sony cooked up Morbius for some fucking reason. And the SSU was really fucking cooked. People were clowning on it 24/7, still are. And when they announced Madam Web would be the next thing in the SSU, people kept memeing it, but I held out hope, you know? I held out hope that Madam Web would be good. Maybe it'd loosely follow the Shatter Dimensions game, with Madam Web calling in other Spider-Men to fix a dimensional shatter. We could have Spider-Men that casual audiences don't really know, or even live-action versions of more popular characters like 2099, or Scarlet Spider, or Miles Morales in more current day due to the Spider-Verse films and the Insomniac games. Bring in some fucking female spiders, man, like they did in this film. Hell, they could even use Madam Web to finally bring in Andrew Garfield again. Get a Spider-Man back into his own fucking universe. Did that happen? No. I just got out of my showing of Madam Web, and I could tell you that what we actually got was a sloppy mess put together by executives to fill a time slot so that they didn't lose the Spider-Man license. This film has me so fucking bitter, I actually despise it. But I want to take this slow instead of it being a weird rant. So let's talk about this film. I'm going to take this slowly using something I saw in Meat Top's Joker video, which I really like. I recommend that video so much. But he brings up the key qualities in the entire filmmaking process, that being depiction, intention, execution, interpretation, reception, and empathy. And I'm going to use that to talk about Madam Web. So let's begin. First off, depiction. What does Madam Web depict? Well, character-wise, Madam Web is a disabled elderly woman. Dakota Johnson is not. See my point? I'm all for straying away from the comics, but fuck me. Try to remain somewhat faithful. Second off, the suits. These suits actually look good. I like them. I've seen a few people say they're bad, but I fuck with them, you know? They're good. They're interesting. It's too bad they're in the film for like 2 minutes. I mean, it's not like the suits are CGI and it's costing loads to have the characters wear them. They're real spandex. And, you know, it wouldn't cost much to have them in them. It's not like the Marvel films where it's all like big high tech and they need to CGI them in. This is Sony. They actually have them wear the suits. Not to mention, you can still have them act in the masks. This was a big thing on like the Toby trilogy. And like just in general, when you have an actor in a mask, they can't act as much with their face. It needs to be all voice-wise. But here, a large majority of the actresses' faces are still visible. There's no reason this Spider-Man film shouldn't have Spider-Man suits in it. Next, the villain. He's arse. There's not much more I can say. Wait, no, sorry. His suit is clapped too. Like, it's the worst one in the film. Dialogue-wise, we've seen that fucking line. We've all seen it.
He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
What the fuck is that clunky fucking dialogue? It's just terrible. Editing, there's so much dubbing here, it's not even funny. Characters will mouth words and say something completely different, and the villain really struggles with this, so I tried to mask it in editing to mix results. Intention. The intention of this film is to fill a time slot. There is no other reason this film should exist. It doesn't serve the SSU at all. Sony made this because they needed to keep the Spider-Man license. Basically, little history lesson for you, back in 1999, Marvel was pretty close to going under, so they sold off the movie rights to all their characters. Spider-Man, being the only actual really popular hero here, had his whole character roster snapped up really quickly by Sony. In this deal, Sony gets to keep the license if they make a Spider-Man film every 5 years and 9 months. So, this film basically exists just to stretch out the time before they have to make an actual good Spidey film. When that happens, who knows? I mean, they've got Craven next, that's not going to be good. And I just hate that was the intention of this film. Madam Web could have been an interesting character. I miss when films were made because we had something to say. Superhero films used to actually be good. You start to see why people say superhero films aren't real cinema when drivel like this is put out 24/7. But moving on, execution is bad. There is nothing good to say about this film. Like I said, it's sloppy edited, it's acted like fucking horribly, and God, everything about this film pisses me off. Like, I don't know why, man. I'm seeing everyone coming out this film really upset, and I'm with it. I'm with the fucking vision of hating this film, man. Like, I had a fucking conversation with my mate. He was like, "Why are you going to see this?" And I was like, I need to form my own opinion. I can't just say it's bad because everyone else is saying it. Fuck me, I wish I'd saved my £4. But I will say this, they show her teaching CPR and then they use it later in the film to save her. Congrats, Madam Web, you used Chekhov's gun successfully. Something college kids get taught. It is a basic in filmmaking, and Madam Web did it, guys, so, like, give him the Oscar.
And the Oscar goes to...
Madam Web.
He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
Interpretation. What is there to interpret this in this film, man? It's a pretty cut dry story and it's pretty shit. It's not like something deep. There's a reason this is ranked like worse than Morbius in terms of it, because there's nothing to interpret. There's no substance. It's slop put out to keep a license, and it pisses me off. Reception. This film has been received poorly, as it should be. All of the clowning of this film is entirely warranted. Will this spur Sony to make a good film in this little universe eventually? Probably not. Wouldn't my advice? Stop seeing this shit. Hell, people already appear to be doing this. I mean, Madam Web only made $6 million on its opening day, and thank fucking God, like, it deserves to make so low, because it's so bad. Like, I'm glad people are finally going, we don't need to see a film just because it's, like, you know, a superhero film that's in an extended universe. People are even starting to do this with, like, Marvel films, and it gives me hope that we will stop making slop superhero films and we can go back to when, like, Spider-Man 2, that era quality, because superhero films could be good. It's just a shame that we are, like, we're so far down. I don't know what I'm going to call this video, but it's probably going to be something like Madam Web ruins superhero films or some shit, because it's really making me believe in the superhero film fatigue, where, like, we're getting to a point where we're done with it, you know? We're done with this genre. They milked it dry. There was a reason superhero films were, like, a big risk, like, a few decades ago. That's because they just weren't good, and we're getting to that point again, where maybe we need to tie off this genre and just leave it for, like, when we actually have a story to say with these characters, and not just, well, Madam Web is a Spider-Man character, that should make money. Finally, empathy. I don't care. I don't care about these characters, because there's not enough time in this film to make me care about them all. I mean, there is, like, 7 characters you really need to focus on here, and none of them get enough justice in my eyes. Why do I keep calling all these characters such vague things like characters or the villain? Madam Web is the only fucking character's name I can remember here. I love Spider-Man, man. I love all the fucking alternates and shit, but I can't remember any of the dickheads in this film because it's so bland. It all just meshes together. And, you know, it's a shame, because that is just Madam Web. It's a sloppy, blended together piece of shit, and it doesn't give me hope for the future of the SSUs. They have Kraven lined up next, and it's not looking good. I really had faith for Kraven when I watched the trailer. Madam Web having come out, knowing that Kraven's coming next, not as much hope. Who knows? Maybe they could bring it back, like, randomly. I seriously fucking doubt it, you know? If Sony won't fix the SSU, I will, in part 2 of this video. Yeah. I'm going to follow this video up with a thing where I describe where this SSU could go next. So subscribe to see that, because, I don't know, I'm cooking up something interesting. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Madam Web sweep, 10 out of 10. Give it the Oscars. Goodbye.